So they're headed down to the Amontillado, which of course isn't there. Now, what do they talk about en route? Well, first off, Fortunato is not in great health, and he has this coughing fit. Ugh, 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 ugh. And again with the reverse psychology. Come, I said, Montresor says. We will go back. Your health is precious. You are rich, respected, admired, beloved. You are happy as I once was. You are a man to be missed. For me, it is no matter. We will go back. You will be ill, and I can't be responsible. How does he punctuate that? Besides, there's Lucrezi. So again, oh, let's go back. Let's go back. Oh, and I'll just get the guy who you don't like and you think you're better than. Enough. The cough is a mere nothing. I will not die of a cough. And of course, Montresor says, true, because he knows what he's going to die of. They also discuss the coat of arms, right? Often those have a shield and some sort of symbolism in it. Maybe mine would have a cat these days, maybe a dachshund, since I used to have a dachshund. And the coat of arms of the Montresors is very interesting. It's a naked foot stepping on a snake. It's a naked foot stepping on a snake. Now, the symbolism here is that the foot is going to kill the snake, crush its head, but the snake is pumping poison into the foot, which will kill the owner of the foot. Now, which is Fortunato, which is Montresor, not really sure here, because one of them, Fortunato winds up dead, but Montresor, telling this story 50 years later in great detail, shows, getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but that's okay, that Montresor does in fact feel guilty for what he's done. And 50 years later, he can retell this story in remarkable detail. So, that one criteria, has he punished with impunity? No. This has been on his mind. The serpent has pumped its venom into, we'll call the naked foot Montresors. Before being killed, Fortunato has pumped his venom, pumped the guilt in there. And very near the end of the story, just as Montresor is leaving Fortunato for dead, he says, my heart grew sick, last paragraph. My heart grew sick. It was the dampness of the catacombs that made it so. So just like when we talked about the raven, the raven probably says, "Rah," or "Row, row," and the narrator hears Lenore, and then nevermore, nevermore, nevermore. But he convinces himself early on in the poem that it's something else. Here we have, oh, my heart grew sick. Oh, it was the dampness of the catacombs. No, his heart is growing sick. A little bit of him is going to feel guilty. So he has been punished. He never went to jail, as far as we know, but Montresor has been punished with 50 years of guilt. So as they go down through, we also find out this other moment, and if you'll excuse me for a minute, Simon, I need to get my prop here. As they're walking down through the catacombs, they're chit-chatting, and they talk about whether or not they are a Mason. So Fortunato waves a sort of secret sign, and Montresor doesn't know it because Montresor is not a member of the organization called the Masons. And even though the story is set in Italy, there are certainly Masons in America as well. And the Masons actually still exist, and they're a community organization. They do have their fair share of rituals, as most organizations do. It was a big deal in Poe's lifetime whether you were a Mason or not. You were sort of a cool kid with the in crowd if you were a Mason. If you weren't, you were sort of the outsider, but you didn't like those other people. And in politics, it was huge. There was a political party called the Anti-Masonic Party, sort of the outsider, somewhat, in some ways the populist party, and those elites, those people who are part of that elite secret club of the Masons. And quite comically, actually, Fortunato says, Montresor, sorry, I keep getting the names confused, sorry, Simon. Montresor says, oh no, I'm a Mason, look. And he pulls out a Mason's trowel. This is what you use to put mortar on bricks or block, and then you put the next block on, and then you put mortar on. So some people, it's not cement, it's mortar holds bricks and blocks together, or stones even. And so Montresor pulls this out and says, oh no, look, I'm a Mason. And Fortunato kind of goes, yeah, let's just keep going here. Little nutty. So that's a big deal. And Poe is also kind of an outsider himself. Like I said, he made a lot of enemies. He wasn't afraid to call out bad literature that other people were writing, and he was kind of an outsider figure in his own way. Okay. So the question we're going to get back to is, why does he kill him? Well, on the way down, they talk about Montresor, the murderer with the trowel, actually says, my family, let me find the spot here. Come. So kind of back where we were a minute ago. Come, I said, we'll go back. Your health is precious. You are rich, respected, beloved. You are happy as I once was. You are a man to be missed. For me it is no matter. Can you hear the jealousy there? Can you hear the jealousy there? You are to be missed. You are rich, respected, admired, beloved. We know there is a Mrs. Fortunato. I will not be missed. So, again, if the motivation for this killing is jealousy, then that is an internal motivator, right? Internal motivator. And that's one of the things we've been talking about with Poe. So he is clearly jealous of Fortunato's popularity. Fortunato's part of the in crowd. He's someone who will be missed. Montresor points out he has no family, right? All right, coming on to the next page. True, I replied, and indeed I had no intention of alarming you, but you should use proper caution. Here, have some Medoc. That is a red wine from Bordeaux. And so, Montresor is getting Fortunato drunk along the way, which is going to make it easier to wall him up. Here I knocked off the bottle. I drew from a long row of its fellows that lay upon the mold. That's like molding the shelf. Drink, he raised his lips. Drink, I drink to the buried that repose around us, which is what he will be soon. And I to your long life. Wink, wink. He again took my arm, we proceeded. These vaults, he said, are extensive, Fortunato says. Montresor says, the Montresors were, dun dun dun, were a great and numerous family. You have a feeling that one of the things that's weighing on Montresor is that he is not married. You have this distinct, at least, impression he lives alone in a sort of a palace with servants. And if you are of the nobility, if you are upper class, one of your main goals in life was to reproduce, preferably a male, to inherit everything and carry on the family name, to wear the family crest, right? And he has failed to do that. And then we get this marvelous Latin phrase, Nemo me impune lasset. That is the family motto. No one insults me with impunity. No one insults me with impunity. So, very good. Yeah. So then they get down to the bottom, and then the crime itself unfolds.